Hello everyone and welcome back to Mossy Pine Ranch at Elmcreek. We have reached episode number 24 and are now in April. We're starting off today in the new farmyard, that's right, Mossy Pine Yard. And yes, the oats which we planted last time are now at the first growth stage, so they're looking pretty good and it's a nice sizable field. Just a reminder, last time we bought area/field number 10 and we sectioned off this bit at the end, the bottom of the field, to make our new yard, which is looking really good. So the oats we planted are in the first stage of growth, but they do need fertiliser, both levels, primary and secondary. There's a slither of primary fertiliser around the edge where we turned in some grass to expand the field closer to the road, but the rest of it is going to need fertilising. However, first thing first, the grass field is ready to mow, and I am going to set the worker off again like we did previously so we can get on to other jobs, but I'm going to help him out and get the headland done. So first things first today, I'm going to go grab the mower, get the headland mowed, and then I will set the helper going, and then we can move on to fertilising the oat field. So I'll see you in a short while. There we go, that was quick and easy. So I'm now going to set the helper off and hopefully they start doing it the same way we did last time and make some nice rows. Probably going to be, oh no, I thought there was going to be a little slither there, but mown it up quite nicely. So yeah, we should come back and hopefully see this all mowed. And last time I was questioning why we had a slightly lower yield. However, I realised that the grass shows as ready to harvest in sort of the early harvest stage, but there is a later one where the grass is longer and has obviously more yield because it's longer. So yeah, we are mowing it at its full length, so it'll be interesting to see how much quantity we get into the fermenting silo. Now I might move the fermenting silo before we start forage wagoning it in, but yeah, that is for another time. So next job is fertilising the oat field, so let's go hop in the John Deere and we'll need to get some fertiliser. Right, here we are. So luckily we've got the drawbar and got the spreader. There is lime in it, so we're just going to have to empty that. There we go, can leave the lime there. Benefits of a nice new big yard, we've got space to dump things when we quickly need to. Let's go grab some fertiliser. So fertiliser stores are here. Let's get it loaded up. Okay, so I've loaded up 64%. I think that's going to do for the size of field. I don't want to fill it all the way up. And yeah, we know that fertiliser goes a longer way without precision farming on, so that's good. And we'll do the straight edge first, just so we can get our bearings, and the other side of the field is already fertilised thanks to the grass that we turned in. Yeah, we should just be able to get in here and switch on. Quite tricky to see the width, but I can gauge it as best I can. And I will have to look for texture change on the ground to see where we've gone and haven't gone. But luckily I can refer to the map if I need to. Yeah, it's nice to be fertilising this big field. It's going to yield hopefully quite a lot of oats. which is going to benefit our horses. And as mentioned last time, we've now got access to the productions, so we're going to use some of our oats to make some oat flour at the grain mill, which will be interesting. We deposited our wool at the spinnery at the end of last session. That's been busy producing some fabric overnight, and hopefully by the time we finished all of today's jobs we would have made a pallet or two worth of fabric which we can go sell. April is the optimum sell time, so we want to be selling it today as much as possible. Alright, nearly one row done. So let's leach out onto the road. Sorry Mr. Driver, let you go past. And now we'll swoop back and do the next row. So leave this with me and we'll get this field all fertilised up. And that is us done. So very difficult for me to see where I'm going and where I've been and where I need to fertilise. Have to rely on the slight tram lines that I can see in the field, and also when I'm turning a row I need to sort of pick a object in the horizon and aim for it and keep heading on that track, so it's quite difficult. But I'm just going to take a look at the map and see how I've done. Okay, so not too bad. There's two strips running up here and back down here, and then a little bit at the edge. So I'm just going to go tidy those up now, although they are quite thin, so probably not worth the fertiliser if I'm honest. But yeah, I'm hoping we're not going to use solid fertiliser again. So let me just clean up those slithers, and then in future, yeah, the aim is to try and use digestate. Right, so that is the slithers and the edges all covered up now, which is good. Not too bad for a bit of guesswork on where I'm going. But yeah, let's drop the spreader off. We'll keep the fertiliser in it, as we will need to do that field again for the secondary level. And yeah, I've only alternative to using the solid fertiliser is liquid fertiliser in the sprayer, which is quite expensive as well, so probably not worth us buying that whilst we've got 34% left in this. Should cover the second level. And of course the other option we've got is digestate, but we shouldn't really be spraying that over a crop that we've planted and is in this sort of a level of growth. Okay, so that is that field all fertilised, and whilst we've been doing that, the helper has been busy cutting our grass, and yeah, he's done not too bad a job. I can see some missed patches, so let's just hop in and see what we've got to contend with. Okay, so I remember this bit being left last time, so we can get that cut, although I just missed a tiny little bit at the top. Little bit here. Big bit here. and another tiny bit here. So yeah, not too bad a job overall, can't complain. They're helping us out, so that's good. Right, so we can turn the mowers off, get them folded up and park them away. We're not going to forage wagon just yet, going to save that for later, as we've got other priority jobs to do first of all. And yeah, the next jobs that we're going to move on to is really around expanding some of our animals. Last time I mentioned that our horses are now in the reproduction stage, so yep, they are now reproducing, which is great because it means we're going to be getting some new horses on the ranch. But there is a problem that the paddock we have only houses 5 horses, so they're going to hit the top of the reproduction level and then not be able to have their offspring. So yeah, we really need a secondary horse paddock that is going to house our newly born horses. And similarly for the sheep, they have maxed out the capacity of this sheep pen. So my thought is I am going to get some open pastures which can handle a higher capacity of sheep. This can house 15, there's one that can house 50 for a relatively sort of similar size. And then the horse paddock that we're going to get as a secondary is also going to be an open pasture one, which can hold up to 8 horses, I believe. So we'll have to split them across the 2. But yep, that's going to need a bit of landscaping and some work. So I'm going to set about that, placing our new horse pasture and also swapping out the sheep pasture. We will need to sell a few sheep as I can only store 10 in the transport vehicle. So yeah, we'll sell our eldest sheep and then keep 10 for the new pasture, but then they'll have much more room to grow and reproduce. So I'm going to see to that, first of all, by cutting down some of the trees which I need to. So leave that with me, and I'll see you in a short while. Okay, so we have placed the open pasture for the horses. They're over here. Just need to probably fill in a bit of grass to make it look a bit more natural and have some paths going up to the feeding and water area. But yes, we've got 3 in here and 2 in the original one. And the reason for that is that the original one houses 5 and this one can house up to 8. So yeah, we've got space here for these 3 horses to each reproduce, and then we've got space up in this top one for these 2 horses to reproduce. And yes, we will probably do some rejigging once their offspring are here. We'll probably put all the young horses in this 5 horse pasture, and then all the elder ones in the bigger one. So yeah, that's looking good, but they are in need of some water and feed. So let's get that sorted now. We can take the animal trailer and park it up. I think we can, now that we've got space relinquished in this shed, we can store the animal trailer in here. So let's do that. There we go, that's perfect. So I'm probably going to run and get the John Deere so I can then get hay and water for the horses and the sheep. There we go. Water. Grab some hay for the sheep and horses whilst we're here. Can stick it in the bucket. These mini bells are so useful for a small animal operation. Let's just tip it up so we don't lose it, and we can give some water to the new sheep pasture and the horse pasture. There we go, water's going in, and whilst it is, let's get some hay dropped off. There we go, that's enough to get them started, and give the rest to the horses, and we'll need to give the base food to the horses as well. They've got some oats, which we had to purchase, so yeah, we'll have to use the big bag lifter to get that. But let's give them water and hay first of all. In goes the water. Let's grab the hay. Right, so we'll just leave the water there for a second and go get a big bag lifter so we can give them some oats. There we go, that's the big bag lifter. Probably get away with one for now, so let's just grab that and raise it up. Okay, so we should just be able to back up here and start unloading some oats. There we go. Great, so they took the full bag, that's perfect. Let's drop the big bag lifter off and get the water tank back. Might as well give these horses a drink while we're here. Okay, that's refilling, but we can drop it off. Okay, so that's our animals all seen to. Let's just take a quick look at the animal menu, and we can see we now have, yep, 2 horse pastures, the free range one and the normal one. But yeah, horses have what they need for now, and yet they're at 63% reproduction. So in a few days they should reproduce, and we'll get some 5 young horses, which will be fantastic. But yeah, I'll need to give all the pastures a bit of a top up of base food and hay, which I will do. And yeah, the sheep are looking good in their new free range sheep pasture, and they can now produce up to 50 sheep, which is really going to help ramp up the wool production, and they're looking good in terms of water and hay. Keep them happy as well. Chickens, I think we need to give them a top up of their grain, so let's do that. Trailer. Grab the barley. That should do it. There we go. We'll drop the leftovers back in the silo. Okay, so this trailer is predominantly going to be used for giving the chickens their feed. Probably use it for other bits as well, but it's probably best living in this shed. There we go. That's the great thing about the new yard, is it's freed up space around the rest of our farm to finally put some of our trailers under cover. Okay, so there's not a great deal for us to do around the farm other than start forage wagoning our grass. So I'm going to set about starting to do that now, whilst we wait for more of our fabric to be produced at the spinnery, and then at the end of the day we will go and see how much we've got and get that sold. So let's just line up the tractor here. But before I start, I am going to move the fermenting silo over to the new part of the yard. So we can sell this and get a bit of money back, which is good. This area was okay, but it's not ideal with this big looping area, so let's return it to what it was. There we go. I didn't mind that location, but yeah, it was a bit tricky sort of moving in around this fence area and then the hill, so better we have it over at the farmyard. So let's get that done. There we go, so we can set that there, and that's going to be really easy for dropping off and picking up our grass and silage. Perfect, that will do for now. So let's hop back in the case, turn on the wagon, lower away, and get this loaded and placed into the same silo but in our new farmyard location. And that's the last slither all collected up. I think that is going to be a bigger yield than we had before, because the grass length was longer and felt like we did more trips. So yeah, just got to snake down this hill. Don't want to hit the flat bit too sharply. And yes, here is our nice new, not new, but moved silo. And we can empty up in here, and then we can take a quick look at how much we've got in there. Oh yes, so 150,000 litres, and we've got 10,000 litres that have converted into silage already. So yeah, around 160,000 litres. So it really does pay off waiting an extra day to be able to get around another 40,000 litres out of that field of grass. So that is really good. That is going to be nearly 2 full loads of the trailer to the BGA when it's all fermented. I think the forage wagon can live up here in this part of the farm ranch, because it's going to be used alongside and in conjunction with the silo mostly. Just had a thought whilst parking this up. We obviously can store hay in that silo, and any excess hay we can convert into silage as well. But what's useful is that means for our animals, next time we need hay, we don't need to bale it up and store it. We can just come along with the forage wagon after we've tedded and windrowed back up the grass. We can forage wagon it and just put it in here as hay, which is fantastic. So it really is versatile, this silo. Righto, so it's 5 o'clock. Time has come to go and check in at the spinnery, see how much fabric they've got made for us, and try and get it over to the sell point before closing time. So let's hitch up to the trailer and we can sprint on out to go check on the fabric. Right, the spinnery is just here, and we can pull up and see how much we've got made. Hoping for... okay, so it's only the one pallet still. Maybe we're close to having a second one ready. Okay, so we've waited till quite late, but there's another pallet ready now, so that's going to make it ideal for us to get this transported to the sell point. Better get the tractor in position and lights on. Look at that, some pristine fabrics. So let's get this loaded and to the sell point. Okay, so that's loaded, nice and secure. Let's get out of here. And I think it's over to the grocer mart where the best sell point is. Yep, so it is the grocer mart. That's the only place that takes it, and they're selling for 11,000, which is the peak price, which is great. So let's go there. And if we look at the productions, we've still got 3,200 litres of wool. So that's going to make another 1.5 pallets. Something like a overnight delivery of the finest mossy pine ranch fabrics. Right, here's the grocer mart. And I think they're going to want these round the back. That's right, yep. So let's back in. They are selling. There we go. 2 pallets sold, $23,388. That is fab. So yep, we can turn wool into fabric using the spinnery production. We obviously pay a price for the amount of cycles that production does, and yep, that increases our profitability from that wool, turning it into fabric, which obviously sells for a higher price because it is a more desired and processed good. A chance to see our new yard in the lunar light. So it's been a busy day. We started off by setting our worker off on the grass field. We then fertilised our oats to the primary level. We're going to have to come and do that again. We then saw to rehoming some of our animals and putting them in pastures and pens which are a lot more productive and also hold a lot more capacity, which is really going to benefit us in terms of growth and allowing our animals to reproduce to their full potential. And then lastly, we obviously sold our fabric, which we processed from wool at the spinnery. So funds are looking about where they were at the start, but considering what we've purchased today and what we've done, it's not too bad that we're breaking even. And we've got some fantastic amounts of grass which is being turned into silage at our silo. So we'll be able to get to that to the BGA next time. But that is it for today. Hope you have enjoyed watching. A big thank you for your views, likes and subscribes. And if you've got any tips, tricks or things you'd like me to do, then feel free to leave a comment. Cheers all for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Until then, catch you later. Bye bye.